Harry was a master of that wonderful organism known as the print newspaper. He was a master at every level.
Harold Evans was a kind of god to us when we were young journalists. We'd read his books. Harold Evans was our kind of training school.
I think he said that news was something that somebody somewhere didn't want you to know.
If you were to ask people today, what is the worst man-made disaster in peacetime? They'd probably say something like, oh, the Titanic. 1912, 1,512 lives. Or they might say, oh, Chernobyl, and maybe a few hundred lives have gone to that. Or they might say, if they're being a bit more knowledgeable, when the Union Carbide plant blew up at Bhopal, and the number of people dead or injured by that may be as high as 10,000. But thalidomide outstrips all of those, 10 times over and more. The thalidomide disaster probably destroyed more than 100,000 babies, injured 1 million adults, and yet it doesn't feature in the list that springs to people's mind.
Harry was of a very deep conviction that there were certain things that only newspapers could change through their journalism, and thalidomide happened to be one of those issues. It certainly did change. The consequences and the outcome of the thalidomide scandal would not have been what they were without that tremendous act of journalism, which required all Harry's courage and energy.
He changed the dynamic and the intention of what was going on in the rest of the world, where the fault was with the parents. You know, countries were saying that, well, the mothers took the drug, it's their fault the children are like this. Well, Harold Evans came along and he said, no, this is the fault of the pharmaceutical companies and they're the ones who must pay. And he took the blame away from the parents, which is a massive thing because any parent will always blame themselves for the way their child turns out.
What happened with thalidomide, of course, we got the full weight of the British government, the full weight of a powerful industrial corporation against us. But all the people who did the real work on this, and that, by the way, let me emphasize, it's not just some single-handed knight on a shining armor here, it was a team. Very, very important to emphasize that.
Harry understood what the purpose of a newspaper was and should be. It could be read by the powerful in a way that made their lives more difficult, and it could be read by the people over whom the powerful ruled with greater satisfaction of understanding what knavery was underfoot above them.
Well, in the last 10 years of my editorship, the last 5 years especially, we did WikiLeaks, we did phone hacking, we did torture, rendition, we did Snowden. I always knew that I could ring up Harry at any time of day or night and just chat through these cases. He understood the law, he became an expert in the law, and he understood that the law needed to be changed in order to enable journalists to do great work. And he has left a lasting legacy of better law that those of us who came behind benefited from.